When you hear this,
They've got him again!
and this,
He scored!
and this,
Oh boy, what a move by Embiid!
you think of us. We are sports. 97.3 ESPN, WENJ, WENJ HD, Millville, Atlantic City, a town square media station. This is Sports Bash Saturday with Josh Hennig, live from the Matt Blatt Kia Studios. Now, Sports Bash Saturday. Here's Josh Hennig.
Power Hour edition, Sports Bash Saturday, 97.3 ESPN FM, live at the Matt Blatt Kia Studios, also live on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City. Sixers at the All-Star break, picks for the sports weekend, all that and more coming up here on Sports Bash Saturday on 97.3 ESPN, at Josh Hennig on Twitter. Of course, you can follow me over there. Coming up in about 30 minutes, we'll talk about the Sixers at the NBA All-Star break with Philadelphia Inquirer Sixers beat writer Keith Pompey. He's live out there in Cleveland for All-Star Weekend. We'll get a perspective from the man on the ground about what's going on in the NBA and with the 76ers. As always, you can join the conversation as well. You can text in at 609-403-0973. That's 609-403-0973. You also could DM into the show through the 973 ESPN mobile app. Priority messaging thanks to First Bank of Sea Isle City. With the Sixers at the All-Star break, and I have a bunch of stuff I want to get to this hour, but I want to start with the Sixers because, I'm watching the Rising Stars Challenge last night, and multiple years in recent years, we've had multiple times with one of the Sixer players in the Rising Stars evening. This year was Tyrese Maxey. In the past, it's been guys like Joel Embiid and Dario Saric and Ben Simmons. And I think back to why we are where we are. And we started having this conversation this week during the daily shows with Mike Yell and the Sports Bash, with Game Night with Josh Hennig, and where we are with Joel Embiid. There's a little luck that goes into it. There's a little fortune. There's a little, whatever term you want to call. There's a little fate, destiny, whatever terminology you want to use that gets into this stuff. Okay? There's an element that goes into these things that is not all just who's the best at drafting a player, not who's just the best analyst, who's the best, whatever it may be. Some of this stuff has nothing to do with being a great basketball mind or GM, or sometimes you just got fortunate to end up with said player at said moment in time. It's one of those things where when I look at the Sixers, there is an element of good fortune. There's an element of things just kind of going their way that they ended up with through the guy who's considered by many, not just the MVP this season, but could very well be the best player on the planet right now. Certainly playing like a Joel Embiid. When you go back in time, when you go back and realize who Joel Embiid was, what the Sixers were at that point in time, and you realize that you didn't always end up with the best pick. Embiid was the third overall pick, right? He wasn't the first, he wasn't the second. But the first and second picks were Andrew Wiggins and Jabari Parker. You're not where you are today if you would have drafted Wiggins or Parker. Aaron Gordon was right after Embiid. Then it was Dante Exum. Then it was Marcus Smart. Then it was Julius Randle. Then it was Nick Stauskas. The top 8 picks, Embiid is far and away the best player in that draft now. Far and away. Above and beyond. It's not even a question who the best player in the draft is. Jabari Parker's had a ton of health issues that prevented him from reaching his potential. Andrew Wiggins is a solid, good player. He's an all-star player. He got to an all-star game, but he's not a top of the league, top echelon, top 20 kind of player. Aaron Gordon is a good to very good, not great player in this league. Dante Exum didn't work out for him in the league. Marcus Smart is an elite role player for the Celtics, not a star player. Julius Randle, all-star, not great player. Nick Stauskas, didn't work out. You have to go until pick 13 to get the next franchise caliber player. You go through the entire first round of the 2013 NBA draft, there's only 2 franchise caliber players. Embiid at 3, Zach LaVine at 13. That's it. It's not TJ Warren. It's not Yusuf Nurkic. It's not Gary Harris. It's not Shabazz Napier. It's not Rodney Hood. Not Clint Capella. Not Bogdan Bogdanovic. It's 2 dudes, and that's it. And frankly, when you go to the second round, and the best player in the second round is Jeremy Grant, former Sixer, and then it's Nikola Jokic, I mean, come on. The Nuggets were fortunate that Jokic fell to them. Fortunate. Very fortunate. So the top 3 players in this draft, one of them came into the NBA injured. One of them was the 13th overall pick. And the third guy was the 41st overall pick. There is so much that goes into being successful in the NBA and getting your draft picks right that have nothing to do with being a good basketball analyst. Mike Gill brought up this week that Rod Thorne is famous for drafting Michael Jordan 3rd overall. That's why he kept getting jobs. We live in a world today where the success of a team can be literally on a coin flip, on just things going your way. So I'm not going to sit here and act like that the 76ers or any NBA team is so much smarter and so much better or any of that stuff compared to anybody else. Because history has shown us that the draft is a complete unknown. There's no guarantees in life, especially when it comes to the NBA draft. Ben Simmons and Brandon Ingram were the consensus 2 top picks, the 2 top prospects in their draft. They were going 1 and 2 no matter what. But to this day, I don't think either one of them are the best players in their draft. History may tell a different story. 10 years from now, when we look back on the 2016 NBA draft, I mean, honestly, the best players might be Pascal Siakam and Jamal Murray. Not the top 3 guys in there. Nothing against Jaylen Brown. I think he's a phenomenal athlete and a very good basketball player. I just don't think he's potentially one of the top 25, top 30 guys in the league. Sabonis, all-star. Not a great player. People act like the draft is the end-all, be-all sometimes when it comes to building a team, getting things right. That's why Daryl Morey traded 2 first-round picks, one protected and one not, for James Harden, because he knows drafting is such a hit or miss thing. There are no guarantees in life when it comes to the NBA draft. There's no, this is the only way to build a team. This is the best way to build a team. Because Joel Embiid and Giannis Antetokounmpo, 2 of the best players on the planet, went head-to-head on Thursday, and I loved every minute. I was fully invested, and neither one of them were the first or second pick in the draft. Giannis wasn't even top 10 in the draft. Embiid was 3rd overall, and he sat out for 2 years with injuries, and then he missed another half of a season with another injury. If you would have had the conversation when Embiid was drafted, he was going to be potentially the best player in his draft, people would have been like, I mean, I could see it, but they couldn't have been like, oh yeah, you're 100% right. Listen, I had to be told for months how Jabari Parker was going to be a game changer in the NBA, and how Andrew Wiggins was a future leading the league in scoring candidate. I had to suffer through that for months on end. Embiid is better than both of them combined. In fact, the most Wiggins ever scored in a season was 22 points. That's it. I'm not impressed with this draft class. It's good. It's not great. 2014 will go down in history as the draft that got you Embiid. Now, look, I understand that the analytics people love Jokic and they salivate over him. Jokic don't play defense, all right? Jokic is an elite passer who has one of the most well-rounded offensive games in the league today. He's not a well-rounded player. He's a well-rounded offensive weapon. He's a good, not great rebounder. He has phenomenal footwork. He has elite passing skills. He has a great touch on his shot and around the basket. He's not Embiid. He's not a force of nature. He's not potentially a defensive player of the year candidate. Joel Embiid, to me, being where he is today, is a stroke of not genius, but good fortune. So you can say whatever you want about Sam Hinkie and Brian Colangelo and Brett Brown and Elton Brand and Daryl Morey and all these people who have been in and out of the Sixers organization over the last decade. You can say whatever you want about Josh Harris and the process and all these different things. To me, it's all negligible. Because if Embiid didn't work out, what's the point? What's the point of everything if Embiid wasn't as, what was the term that Brett Brown used? Basically the gem, the star, the thing that we all revolve around. If it wasn't for Embiid turning into an MVP caliber player in his mid to late 20s, the Sixers are not here having a conversation about being conference contenders. Daryl Morey and Doc Rivers don't come to Philadelphia. James Harden doesn't want to join them in Philadelphia. Philadelphia just becomes another team in the grand scheme of things. So a lot of this stuff, it's not who's the smartest basketball guy. Because realistically, how many people would have actually drafted a guy who's 7 foot tall with a back injury and foot problems? Sounds like Sam Bowie and Greg Oden to me. And yet Joel Embiid turned out to be more than most people could have ever hoped for. Josh Hennig here, Sports Bash Saturday, 97.3 ESPN FM and the 97.3 ESPN mobile app. You can download the app and message the show. Thanks to First Bank of Seattle City. You also can text in at 609-403-0973. This is NBA All-Star Weekend, and Billy Schweimer earlier kind of pushed my buttons a little bit, and not in a bad way, but more of a getting me invested, right? getting me, emotionally charged up. And the way he did that was, we were talking about the state of different sports. And when I look at the NBA All-Star Weekend, you know why the NBA is so successful? You know why the NBA is a billion-dollar business now? When they were barely netting 300 million, they were losing billions of dollars a decade ago. Now they're netting billions of dollars every year. You know why NBA franchise values are skyrocketing? Why television ratings, especially in the playoffs, have been strong? It's because the NBA understood something that other sports just don't get. They don't get it at all. And that is, the NBA understands that people come to see the players. People buy players' jerseys. People want to see stars when they come to the game. You want to be entertained by the best of the best. And the NBA is one of the best sports at marketing their stars. It's the movie analogy. You're not going to fill in the blank movie unless an actor or actress that you like is in it. Very, the Marvel Cinematic Universe has found a way to be successful. Almost doesn't matter who the actors and actresses are. It helps that they've had some name brand people like Robert Downey Jr. and people like that. Robert Redford was a villain in one movie. Kurt Russell's been a villain in a movie. But overall, the Marvel billion-dollar money-making machine did it because people in part were coming to see the characters, not just the actors. The rest of the world needs a star attraction. Half of you people who saw Jurassic World probably would not have seen it if Chris Pratt wasn't in the movie. The other half of you watched it because you saw Jurassic Park. That's the same thing in sports. Half the people come for the brand name on the front of the jersey. The other half of the people, at minimum, come for the name on the back of the jersey. It's something that other sports don't understand. And the NBA is maximizing to its ultimate power. The All-Star game, LeBron and Kevin Durant are picking the All-Star rosters. All-Star weekend has all these unique and fun elements to it, like the skills competition that has Giannis and his brothers on one of the teams. They're in Cleveland, so the Cavs players have their own skills competition unit. The NBA is capitalizing on three-point shooting. So what are they doing? They've expanded the three-point competition. These are all big deals. This is huge for the NBA. They have found a way to take the star power and the things that people love the most about this league, and they're finding ways to market. Now, they don't get everything right. Obviously, the slam dunk competition is a dumpster fire at this point. But overall, basketball understands, the NFL understands that the name on the back of the jersey, the player, is what most people, the casual to intermediate fan, is coming for. The diehards come for the brand. The diehards come for the arena. The diehards come for things like that. Everyone else comes for the entertainment value. You want to know why I don't care that baseball's in a lockout, or why I didn't watch almost a minute of the entire Olympics? Because the star attraction has not been handed to me. There's no name on the marquee of the theater. Baseball and the Olympics expect me and other viewers to show up just because they're baseball and the Olympics. And hockey does this a little bit too. Not as badly as baseball does, but they do it a little bit too. MLS does this. I don't understand why people think that I should just give you my money, my attention, my interest just because of your brand. Brand name means more in fashion than it does in entertainment. Nobody goes online on Spotify or Apple Music to download music and they search by record label. They don't search by producer. They search by artist. They search by marquee attraction. You know why people have iPhones? Because they're popular. If iPhones weren't popular, people wouldn't care. Everyone would have Androids. You know why people buy computers with Windows operating systems? Because it's popular. Because what people have been told their whole life is the way to go. Most people have no idea there's other operating systems out there. If you tell somebody that uses Windows that Linux is a better operating system, they'll look at you like you have two heads. People only know what has been marketed to them. And sport like baseball is a non-mover for me. Because who cares? It's billionaires and millionaires arguing over $10 million, and both sides are more interested in being right and being the winner and doing what's best interest in everybody involved. The Olympics want you to watch because they're the Olympics and there's history and the pageantry. There's never been a point in my life where I turned on a game or a sporting event for pageantry. Okay? If I wanted that, I wouldn't be on this microphone talking to you. I'd be going to an art exhibit. I'd be going walking around and seeing art pieces every weekend. But instead, I'm here talking to you guys 6 days a week because I love sports. And one of the things that we love, people like me, about sports is we want to see greatness. We want to see achievement. We want to see the best of the best perform. We want to see the stars come out. We want to see underdogs win. We want to see all these different storylines. And instead of marketing that, sports like baseball, Major League Baseball, the Olympics, Major League Soccer, they market an experience, history, the sport in general. That sounds great in a vacuum. You don't want to know why the UFC, the number one mixed martial arts organization in the world, has become a billion-dollar business? Because the UFC realized that people want stars. So they started marketing in the early 2000s when Dana White and the Fertitta brothers bought the organization 22 plus years ago. They said, we have champions. We're going to market our champions like they're the best in the world. If it wasn't for the UFC's marketing model, who is Ronda Rousey, John Jones, Conor McGregor? Who are these guys? Who are these ladies? Who are these people? The UFC doesn't say, come watch the best fighters in the world. They say, come watch our champion, Israel Adesanya, last weekend, defend his belt against the previous champion, Robert Whittaker. They give you a storyline. They give you a reason. They give you the movie trailer with the stars in front to make you come out and watch it. I've seen that stupid Uncharted trailer a million times at this point, and I know that Mark Wahlberg and Tom Holland are in that movie. I don't know much about the movie, but I know the stars are in that movie, and the only reason why those guys are front and center on the trailer is because you, the person who will go watch a movie, want to see them in a movie. The story probably stinks. People will go watch it, though. The number one movie in America right now is Death on the Nile. You know why? It's not because a bunch of people read Agatha Christie books growing up. It's because the cast of the movie is an all-star cast. Gal Gadot, Kenneth Branagh, Russell Brand, Annette Bening, Name brand people. Basketball gets it. Football gets it. Baseball and the Olympics, they don't get it. Josh Hennig here, Sports Bash Saturday, 97.3 ESPN FM and the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Seattle City. I'll give you my picks for the weekend a little bit later in the show, as well as get your messages over on the DMs on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Seattle City. And, of course, you can text in as well at 609-403-0973. Live from Cleveland, Sixers beat writer Keith Pompey joins me next here on 97.3 ESPN FM and the 97.3 ESPN mobile app.
Coming up on the next edition of the Sports Bash with Mike Gill.
Coming up Monday, All-Star Weekend in the books. We'll look at all the Eastern Conference teams at the break. Football at 4, Jeff Mosher, Mike McGarry takes a look back at the weekend. Inside the Sixers with Paul Hudrick, and we'll look at a little NFL with Jeff Kerr. That's all Monday on The Bash.
The Sports Bash, weekdays from 2 to 6 on 97.3 ESPN, South Jersey's sports leader.
With GMF financing excludes Corvette. Now till the end of the month, Bennett Chevrolet is paying a minimum $8,000 for any trade. No joke. That's $8,000 minimum for any rundown old piece of junk you can get to our lot. Don't let that clunker just sit around. Have it towed to Bennett and get at least $8,000 towards any pre-owned vehicle in stock. But this is a special offer this month only. Got a good trade? Bring it in. Because if we're paying a minimum $8,000 for junk, imagine how much more Bennett will pay for a good quality trade. And we'll buy your vehicle even if you don't buy ours. Plus, you won't find Bennett selling new cars over factory window sticker like other dealers. And if you're stuck in a lease, we can get you out early. Every make and model. No obligation, no pressure. Because our non-commissioned sales staff is paid on your satisfaction, not how much you spend. Now till the end of the month, Bennett Chevrolet is paying a minimum $8,000 for any trade. Find new roads at Bennett Chevy, Egg Harbor Township, and BennettChevy.com.
Like getting credit for everything you do? We created 102 reasons to switch to a Jackson Hewitt Tax Pro this year. The first 100 reasons, you'll get $100 to switch. Yep, $100. Reason 101, we'll track down every last tax credit so you get every dollar you deserve. 102, we guarantee your biggest refund. Want to discover Reason 103? Book an appointment at a participating location near you and get credit for everything you do. Offer ends March 6th. Available at participating retail locations for new clients only. Mention this ad when filing. Terms apply. Visit jacksonhewitt.com for details.
Hey, I'm Andy, and I started Harry's, the shaving company that's fixing shaving. At Harry's, we keep it simple. We make sharp, durable blades and offer them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We obsess over quality so much that we do crazy things, like buy a German razor blade factory. So give us a try with this special offer. Get a Harry's starter set with a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, and a travel cover. All for only $3 with free shipping. Just go to harrys.com and enter 2260 at checkout. That's harrys.com, code 2260.
Have you been swept up in the Yellowstone craze? Want to look and feel like you live at Dutton Ranch? Cowtown Cowboy Outfitters is the only place to get quality Western wear along with personalized and knowledgeable customer service. Buy from a family-owned local business that cares about their customers and has the best selection around. Cowtown Cowboy Outfitters is full of trendy Western apparel from cowboy boots and hats to jeans, belts, and so much more. Just a short drive from everywhere. Open 7 days a week and at cowtowncowboy.com.
Hi, Bobby.
Hey, Sarah. The usual.
This is the last time I'm coming here for coffee. I'm on a budget now.
1 sec. Cold brew for Blake?
It's Jake from State Farm. Sarah, don't give up what you love. State Farm has policy options to get you a surprisingly great rate.
Good. I need my iced oat milk latte with caramel and cinnamon on top.
Girl, me too. For surprisingly great rates, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call or go to statefarm.com for a quote today.
Do you want the best for your car? Then fill up with premium at Circle K. Circle K Premium is our best fuel with double the cleaning detergent, protecting your engine from corrosion and damage so it can work at its best. And that, my friend, increases your mileage for more cha-ching in your pocket. Plus, when you fill up with premium at Circle K, you can save up to 20 cents per gallon. Offer valid Thursdays or Fridays at participating stores. For details, visit CircleK.com. Circle K. How convenient.
High prices don't get you a great network. A great network gets you a great network. It's why Total Wireless runs on the largest, most dependable network with nationwide 5G. And now our totally unlimited plan is just $50 a month for talk, text, and high-speed data that never run out. Get unlimited laughing, scrolling, unlimited everything. Total Wireless. Do amazing. Available at Target. Capable device and SIM required. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary. Total Wireless reserves the right to review your account after 60 gigs. Terms and conditions at totalwireless.com/terms.
Hoops are happening, and college basketball's biggest stage is right around the corner on PropSwap. Every season, prop swappers make thousands of dollars by simply buying and selling college basketball teams. Now is the time to find those Cinderellas while the odds are high. So get to your sportsbook, buy a handful of tickets, and list them on PropSwap. Remember, only one team needs to make a run, and that ticket will pay for the rest. Dark horses happen every year, so download the free PropSwap app today. PropSwap, where America buys and sells sports bets.
This is Sports Bash Saturday with Josh Hennig, live from the Matt Blatt Kia Studios. Here's Josh Hennig.
Josh Hennig back here on 97.3 ESPN. Sixers at the All-Star break. Of course, you can hear All-Star Saturday night tonight on 97.3 ESPN, and then the All-Star game tomorrow night on 97.3 ESPN. Coverage tonight begins at 8 p.m. following our college basketball doubleheader, and then tomorrow night, 7 p.m. coverage of the All-Star game. Sixers are off for a little more than a week. Of course, Joel Embiid among the folks over at All-Star Weekend, and joining us right now live from Cleveland, where the All-Star game and all the festivities are. Sixers beat reporter, also co-host of the Locked On 76ers podcast at Pompey on Sixers on Twitter. Keith Pompey joins us right now here on 97.3 ESPN. Keith, how's Cleveland treating you?
It's cold, bruh. It's cold. Like, no, Cleveland's good. Cleveland's good. You know, a lot of people are complaining. Like, it's funny. You go to the All-Star event, and the media always complains. There's always something wrong, right?
Right.
So now people are complaining because it's cold and it's snowing. There's snow everywhere. I'm like, look, y'all, we're here to do a job. We're having a good time.
Yeah, I've heard a few different people say, you know, why can't the NBA have their All-Star game in a warmer climate? I'm thinking, well, because half the teams are in northern cities. Like, what did you expect?
Exactly, and the game is inside. You know what I mean? You know, it's like, yeah, it's funny. It's funny.
It definitely is funny. Well, Keith, you're out there, and you know, obviously, we can't get away from one of the biggest stories of this season. It's Joel Embiid. I mean, the guy I was mentioning earlier before you came on, he went from being this, you know, injured guy coming into the league, misses 2 years, misses half another season, and now he's not just considered the MVP front runner. Some people are saying he may be the best player on the planet right now. Just give us like a perspective on your observations, because you've seen him in his evolution from being a guy who was drafted to what he is now.
You know, it's crazy because you are right. I mean, you know, his evolution has really, he really evolved. I mean, because when he first came here, I mean, he did certain things. I remember when he was a rookie, I'm talking about when he wasn't playing. The first year, he didn't play when he just got drafted. And you would see him out there, like, just shooting the ball, right? And he would, like, take these shots. And people are like, yo, what is he doing? Like, you know, come on, man. He's messing around. He's goofing around. Like, you know, get on the block. Get on the block. And his evolution now is that people don't say anything anymore. You know, like, Joe, I mean, you may have some people being critical, but for the most part, when Joel Embiid shoots a three, when Joel Embiid does, like, the Kobe move, or if he tries to do, like, a step back or what have you, people are like, that's just Joel. And that just shows you how much he evolved, because it's like now it's become the norm. It's become expected of Joel. And, you know, and then right now he's healthy. I mean, this guy had, 26 games or 30 or more points. I mean, he's tearing up the league right now.
One thing that stands out to me also with Embiid is the fact that, you know, when he said, I think it was like a month ago, when he said, look, you know, people were critical of me. Shaq and Chuck, you guys told me I need to do that. I listened to you. This is someone who he wants to be better. And I keep wondering, Keith, you know, is this really the ceiling for him? Could there be more? It's not like he's like 33 years old. He's still growing as a human being and as a basketball player? Is there potentially even more to come from him?
It could be. I mean, I think that the thing with Joel, the two things are his health and his condition. I mean, I know he's older. He has some, he's probably an old 27 in regards to the injuries he's had and the wear and tear on his body. But I think that, he can continue to keep getting better, at least in the short term. I mean, when you look at it, like he's playing right now with a bum wrist. He started off the season with a bad knee. So, he has yet to be 100% healthy, and he's still like putting up these crazy numbers. I do think that with the addition of James Harden, his numbers may go down, but I think that with the addition of James Harden is going to make him more of a dominant player, if that makes sense. So I think there is going to be some improvement. He's just going to, like for the short term, he's going to be that guy. Long term, again, it's all about his health. It's all about if he can stay healthy.
You mentioned how Harden could potentially make him more dominant. And I think one of the things that comes to my mind is when we saw the big three go to Boston, Garnett, Allen, and Pierce, and then they drafted Rondo, all three of those guys, Garnett, Pierce, and Allen were superstars on their own. But when they came together, it became more difficult for teams to guard them. We saw the same thing with LeBron when he went to Miami. We saw the same thing with Durant when he went to Golden State. So, to me, I'm very curious to see what Harden does, because I think that people don't realize, I was watching him the other night, Keith, he's coaching up Tyrese Maxey on the sideline, talking guys up. This guy's basketball intelligence is nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah, it's very underrated. I mean, and I'm going to be honest with you, I was shocked. I mean, because it's one of those things where you hear that he's coming, you hear how he got out of Houston. You heard when he was playing with Houston, like it was him and just a bunch of role players where he was doing most of the work. He wasn't really. And then when Chris Paul came, he didn't get along with him. Russell Westbrook, he didn't get along with. And you see him like basically instructing Tyrese Maxey on the sidelines what you need to do. And then, having pep talks to George Niang, so it's like, it really impressed me. I said, okay, this guy's going to lead. Now, the question is with him and Embiid is how is this thing going to work out over time? Because I honestly believe that James wants to come in. He's heard the rhetoric and all the things that was said about him. And Joel's hearing things too that they can't coexist. So I believe that James is going to go out his way to be the great distributor, and then Joel's going to, help him out and help James out to help him get some looks. But my question is, when they go through some rough patches, how are they going to play? And it's not a knock against either player. It's just that Joel knows that typically with the Sixers, in order for them to be successful, he had to dominate. He had to take over, right? James Harden, when he was in Houston, it got to a point where it was just Mr. ISO ball, and that's what kept them in the games. So my question is, when it gets rough, are they going to continue to share, or are they just going to say, I have to do it myself and start playing hero ball? And I think if they start playing hero ball, then it's not going to work. So to me, that's the biggest question mark about these two guys playing together.
For the Philadelphia Inquirer, Keith Pompey, Sixers beat reporter, joining us right here on Sports Bash Saturday on 97.3 ESPN. Follow him on Twitter at Pompey on Sixers. Keith, is there anything we can take from when Embiid played with Jimmy Butler that can maybe be applied to what we are going to potentially see now with Harden, or do you feel those were completely different circumstances?
In which regard are you saying? Are you saying like how they had a great pairing? Is that what you're talking about?
Well, like to me, I felt that, Jimmy's style when he came in, people were saying, not everyone, but some people were saying, the way he, needs the ball in his hands, his style of play might not play well with Embiid, but then in the end, it seemed like they played very well together.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, but see, here's the thing. It's kind of like, the thing is, and I agree with you, But the thing is, when you look at Jimmy Butler, as dominant as he was, and as good of a player he is, Harden is like Jimmy Butler on steroids when it comes to being ball dominant. But I also think that, we learned something last year when Harden went to Brooklyn and he took over the point guard role. And you look at it now, Harden is averaging a double-double, basically, and he averages 10 assists. So it's not that he doesn't give up the ball. And also, I think that in the past, when you talk to people, he felt like he had to take over. You know what I mean? So I think it's going to work out. And I think it's going to be like you said, there are going to be some people looking at it and saying, oh, man, this isn't going to work. It isn't going to work. But I do think that they're going to try. Like I said beforehand, the only question I have is when it gets rough, are they going to just start playing hero ball? You know what I mean? And if they play hero ball, then we could start having problems if it is over an extended period of time with guys clashing and things like that. But I do believe that, this is going to be the best on paper. It's the best pairing that, Embiid has had with someone, the best one. And I do think, though, if we want to really, if we want to be honest with ourselves, we talk about Embiid's injury history. We talk about Harden's age, right? His usage rate in the past. Now, if these guys really work this thing out right, I mean, they can extend a couple years on each other's career, because they don't have to be the guy every night. They can do certain things, help each other out, rest up, do things like that. I think that if they do that and if they buy in, the way that, if they buy in, if they continue to buy in, I think that this could be a pretty good pairing. I really do.
We know the rough patch is going to happen at some point. Obviously, I remember when the Heat first got together, it took them like half a year basically to figure it out. Is this where Doc Rivers comes in? Because Harden said, hey, I wanted to play for this guy. Morey said, be a part of the reason I came to Philadelphia wasn't part of Embiid, but also because, Doc was here. Is this where Doc, for lack of a better term, really earns his reputation in trying to say, look, when we get to the rough patch, I'm the guy who can help smooth it out?
Yeah, he did. I think that's where it is right there. You get to the rough patch, we can smooth it out. You look at the things that Doc Rivers has done in the past. Like the one thing was the Boston Celtics. Like you said, guys came in and they bought in. But at the same time, guys had to give up self. So, Paul Pierce wasn't taking as many shots as he used to take, right? Garnett, was he wasn't. He was still a very dominant force, but he wasn't like the guy that did everything he did in Minnesota. And then you look at Ray Allen. Ray Allen really sacrificed his game. Instead of being the focal point, that's when all of a sudden we start seeing Ray Allen, being a catch and shoot, knockdown shooter. Whereas when he was in Milwaukee, he was the man. So, it's one of those things. I think with Doc having the success with that core and the fact that Doc Rivers has dealt with a lot of personalities, based off of, the All-Stars he coached and Hall of Famers that he's coached, I think that, this could work out. This could work out for him and the Sixers.
Now, Keith, you're out there in Cleveland for All-Star Weekend. Is there a part of All-Star Weekend you don't like entertainment-wise? Because obviously a lot of this stuff is built for the fans. This isn't really built for, particularly the media covering it. So, just give us an idea, for you, are you looking forward to All-Star Saturday night? Do you like Team LeBron versus Durant? Do you think a lot of this stuff is just a crazy gimmick? Give us your thoughts on that.
To be honest with you, I'm not really into, All-Star Saturday night is cool. You get to see the slam dunk contest. You get to see 3-point contests and all that. I'm not really a big fan of the All-Star game at all. I think it's horrible basketball if we really want to be honest, because, there's guys out there doing stuff. Now, don't get me wrong. 2 years ago when Kobe, passed and they did the thing in Chicago and we know how they played to a certain score or whatever. That was cool. But for the most part, the All-Star game to me is about honoring the All-Stars, about honoring the guys from like the legends, the NBA legends. But once you get to the game, like in the past, the game was always like a letdown to me. You know what I mean? Always a letdown.
Okay, so you're the kind of person who says, listen, I'm more interested in Saturday night than Sunday, and I can do without Sunday, basically.
Yeah, I mean, like it's just that. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's the last 2 years it was better, but if we want to be honest with ourselves, it's kind of like the Pro Bowl in football. You know what I mean? It's like,
Sure.
Oh yeah, it's great that he made the Pro Bowl, but I don't know too many people watching the Pro Bowl. You know what I mean?
Well, the problem is that 7 million people watched the Pro Bowl this year, and I don't know any of them. So, obviously some of the people who watch these things, they're, I don't know, maybe some people have money on these things, but I just want to get your perspective on it because, for someone who is having to cover these things, I know it's a different perspective than like the average fan. I know for me, I'm going to be watching tonight way more than I'm watching on Sunday. So I'm with you in that category.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? It's just, it is what it is, man. I mean, it is what it is. And then when you look at it, a part of it in the way, like, let's just say if they played hard, which they don't, I think it would be better if they went back to the East versus West format. But the problem now is like, there's certain guys, in addition to it not being competitive, there's certain guys who don't even play. Like Harden's not playing. Kevin Durant is not playing. You know what I mean? So via injuries or other things, so it kind of lost its luster. But I think in the past, that's why they always they come out with All-Star Weekend. That's what people like. They like the week. They like the weekend. It's not really, it's not really the game anymore. Right. It's not the game. No.
Exactly. Yeah. Follow him on Twitter at Pompey on Sixers. He's also the co-host of Locked On 76ers podcast. He is Keith Pompey, covers the 76ers for the Philadelphia Inquirer, and he joined us right here on Sports Bash Saturday on 97.3 ESPN. Keith, stay warm, safe travels. We'll catch up soon.
All right. Thanks for chatting with me, man. Thanks for calling. Thanks for having me on your radio stuff. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you jumping on. He is Keith Pompey at Pompey on Sixers. Josh Hennig hanging out with you guys. We'll wrap up this show. Coming up on the other side, get to your messages on the text board, 609-403-0973. Your DMs on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
NBA All-Star Saturday night on ESPN Radio. The Taco Bell Skills Challenge, the Mountain Dew three-point contest.
Trae Young is going to try a long three, and he's going to make it. Of course he is.
And the AT&T Slam Dunk.
Cocks it back and rocks it.
Oh, hey. NBA All-Star Saturday night. Coverage begins at 8 Eastern on ESPN Radio. It's the NBA on 97.3 ESPN, your exclusive home for the NBA Finals.
We get it. You're not going to work just anywhere. You're smart, you're ambitious, and you want to help others. You want a place where you can thrive, feel fulfilled, and have an opportunity for growth, all while making an incredible living. Right now is the perfect time to join the team at Town Square Media as a marketing consultant. Join one of the fastest growing digital companies in America where you get to help build client solutions with real local influencers and sell brands like TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube. If this sounds exciting to you, let's have a conversation. Our comp package is amazing with unlimited earning potential, including base salary, mobile phone, auto expense, 401k match, trip incentives, and more. If you're competitive, driven, and have the ability to communicate great ideas, we'd love to hear from you. With digital advertising expected to double over the next 3 years, the timing could not be better. Reach out to Mike Rubel, Market President, at 609-910-5249 or visit careers.townsquaremedia.com. Town Square Media is an equal opportunity employer.
Do you want the best for your car? Then fill up with premium at Circle K. Circle K Premium is our best fuel with double the cleaning detergent, protecting your engine from corrosion and damage so it can work at its best. And that, my friend, increases your mileage for more cha-ching in your pocket. Plus, when you fill up with premium at Circle K, you can save up to 20 cents per gallon. Offer valid Thursdays or Fridays at participating stores. For details, visit CircleK.com. Circle K. How convenient.
Recently, Total Wireless helped Garrett Dvorak throw a virtual baby shower for his wife, Ellie.
Just to see everyone's expressions, I don't have words for it.
Because when you move to Total Wireless, you can get amazing devices on 5G. And with unlimited plans starting at $25 a month per line for 4 lines, you could save up to $80 per month.
Total Wireless, you guys pulled through.
Total Wireless. Do amazing. 5G capable device and SIM required. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary. Savings claim made when compared to 4-line postpaid plans of the leading carrier for 2021. See terms and conditions at totalwireless.com.
East Coast Roofing and Siding, protecting what you love and own. East Coast Roofing and Siding, trust us with your family and home.
Hey there, South Jersey. I'm Larry Styler, founder of East Coast Roofing, Siding, and Windows. Your home projects can't always wait for the weather to get warmer. Here at East Coast, we work hard year-round to make sure you and your family are safe and secure from the inclement weather the winter has in store. Don't worry about our team. We have long johns and we'll wear them. So don't suffer this winter. Call East Coast Roofing, Siding, and Windows today for a free consultation at 609-625-1900. That's 609-625-1900. You can also visit our website for more information about what we have to offer at eastcoastroofing.com. With over 40 years serving the South Jersey community, you can trust us with your family and home.
East Coast Roofing and Siding, trust us with your family and home.
Hey, I'm Andy. If you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Most brands were overpriced, overdesigned, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We care about quality so much that we do some crazy things, like buy a world-class German blade factory. Obsessing over every detail means we're confident in offering a 100% quality guarantee. Millions of guys have already made the switch to Harry's, so thank you if you're one of them. And if you're not, we hope you give us a try with this special offer. Get a Harry starter set with a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, and a travel cover, all for just $3 plus free shipping. Just go to harrys.com and enter 5510 at checkout. That's harrys.com, code 5510. Enjoy.
Hola, Carla speaking.
Carla's roofing company always goes above and beyond.
Yeah, we heard about next week's forecast.
She needs a new foreman to weather a storm of projects.
You mean another full crew before Wednesday? Mira, Jose, can you work Wednesday?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Some people are easily moved.
Wasn't that just the saddest movie ever?
Whatever. Others, not so much.
Oh, look at the puppies!
Just dogs, but smaller, so what? But even those who aren't easily moved.
Look, your long-lost brother's been found!
Oh, hi, Mike. Can be moved by us. Yeah. We're that good.
Use Clark's Moving and Storage in Rio Grande for your next local or long-distance move. Visit Clark's Moving and Storage online at clarksmoving.net.
This is Sports Bash Saturday with Josh Hennig, live from the Matt Blatt Kia Studios. Here's Josh Hennig.
I'll get to my picks for the weekend in just a minute. First, we'll get a couple of messages that came in before we wrap up the show. As always, you can DM the show through the 973 ESPN mobile app, thanks to First Bank of CLC, or you can text in at 609-403-0973. Shaner Brown chimes in and says, if the NBA is so amazing at marketing its players, why do they allow rest days at such a high rate? When I buy a ticket, I want to see Joel, LeBron, etc. Well, first of all, it's not that the NBA allows rest days at an alarming rate. It's that the players themselves have found a way to manipulate the system to get more rest days. You know, the NBA has actually made it very difficult for guys to take load management days in recent years. They have to have valid injuries and be on the injury report and have to have some sort of medical something to get these days off. So it's not the NBA, it's the players. Now, if you want to say the players need to do a better job of being available on the court, maybe there needs to be less games then. I've always said that the NBA season is a very long year. I talked about this earlier today and this week. The NBA goes from, if you include preseason, October to June and July, basically. The NFL is what? 5.5, 6 months. Sometimes less is more. I think that would prevent a lot of those rest days. Text came in and says, "Damn, Josh, have a beer, pal. You angry today? Ha ha." Listen, man, I'm passionate. I'm a passionate individual. I get a little juiced up sometimes. All right, some picks for the weekend. I like Team LeBron, same game parlay, the -5.5 combined with the 321 over at plus 275 odds. I like Obi Toppin to win the dunk contest tonight at plus 220. I like Team Giannis to win the skills competition at plus 360. I like Desmond Bain to win 3-point competition at plus 700. I like Johnny Walker to win in his UFC fight tonight against Jamil Hill. And I like New Jersey's own Jim Miller to win at plus 146. The guy who he's fighting hasn't fought in 2 years. Give me the more active fighter. I'm Josh Hennig. Catch you on Monday, game night, 6 p.m.
The 2022 NBA All-Star Game.
Durant for three in the lead. He's got it. James for three. Good.
Team LeBron faces Team Durant.
Embiid drives hard into the lane and flushes with two hammers around the board. Flushed home by the Greek Freak. 35 feet from the hole.
The 2022 NBA All-Star Game live from Cleveland, Ohio. Coverage begins tomorrow at 7 Eastern on ESPN Radio.
It's the NBA on 97.3 ESPN.